The internet is just packed with advice on how to build wealth. But let's be honest, a lot of it seems to contradict itself. So, what we've done is dig through some of the best ideas out there from top financial thinkers to pull together a single coherent strategy. Our goal here is to give you a clear roadmap from the way you think about money all the way to mastery. Okay, let's kick things off with a really powerful question from the channel Valuetainment. Just take a second and think about this. In your entire life, how much money has actually gone through your hands? Think about every paycheck, every birthday gift, every single dollar. Now, here's the real kicker. How much of that do you have left? If that answer stings a little, it's probably because nobody ever really taught you the rules of the money game. Well, that's exactly what we're here to do today. We've laid out a 5-stage roadmap that's designed to take you from mindset to mastery. We're going to start with how to think, then we'll get into what to do, and finally, we'll talk about why any of this really matters. All right, first things first, stage 1, the money game mindset. Because, before you can change what's in your bank account, you have to change what's going on in your head. And this is a core idea, again, from Valuetainment, that honestly changes everything. Wealth isn't some big secret reserved for a lucky few. It's a game. It has rules. And just like any other game, whether it's chess or a video game, anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn those rules and get really, really good at it. The first step is just deciding you actually want to learn how to play. Okay, so what's rule number 1 of this game? James Jenney breaks this down so well. A lot of us are taught to attach some kind of moral meaning to money, like it's the root of all evil. But money isn't good or bad. It's just neutral. It's simply a measurement of the value you create for other people. Bottom line, if you want more money, you have to figure out how to provide more value. So, how do you actually win this game? Forget about trying to get rich overnight. The key is to think in doubles. Seriously, if you have $1,000 right now, you are only 10 doubles away from over $1 million. So the question changes. It's not, how do I get $1 million? It's, how fast can I double the money I have right now? That simple shift makes a massive goal suddenly feel completely achievable. Okay, so once we've got our heads in the right place, it's time to move to stage 2, mastering your consumption. You can think of this as the defense. In any game, you can't win if you're constantly letting the other team score. James Jenney uses this incredible line from Fight Club to make a point that just hits home. The real rat race isn't about having a 9-to-5 job. No, the real rat race is living so close to the edge financially that your car payment, your rent, your whole lifestyle, it dictates every single choice you make. You don't own your stuff owns you. So how do you actually break free from that trap? It's a pretty straightforward 3-step process. First, you have to track everything you spend. You need to know where your money is actually going. Second, you create a budget, which is just you telling your money where it's going to go. And third, and this is so important, you build an emergency fund. Get 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up. That right there is your financial foundation. And look, a budget isn't about telling yourself no. It's about being intentional. When you set aside your money like this, you're making sure that a chunk of every single dollar you earn, see that 20% right there, goes directly to your future before you pay your rent, your car, or anyone else. This is literally the definition of paying yourself first. All right, your defense is solid. Now it's time to go on offense. Let's talk about the first path to building wealth, becoming a patient investor. This is the slow, steady, and incredibly reliable way to get there. I love the story of Tom from The Swedish Investor because it just captures this path perfectly. See, Tom wasn't some kind of stock market wizard or a crazy risk taker. He just saved consistently, invested it wisely, and then let the magic of compounding do all the heavy lifting. And by the time he was 43, his money was working way harder for him than he was working for his money. And this really gets to the heart of it. Charlie Munger said it best. If a little bluntly, getting that first $100,000 is by far the hardest part. That's the grind. That's where your savings are doing all the work. But once you get past that point, something amazing happens. Your money starts to generate its own momentum, and that compounding snowball starts getting bigger and bigger all by itself. But what if you're thinking, okay, that sounds great, but I want to get there faster? Well, that brings us to our second path of events, the scalable entrepreneur. This is definitely the more aggressive, faster way to create wealth. Well, James Jenney gives us this incredible blueprint. He says, stop chasing money, start chasing problems. All massive fortunes come from this one simple equation. Find a problem, create a solution for it, and then sell that solution to a whole lot of people. You solve $1 million problem, you'll make $1 million. You solve $1 billion problem, well, you get the picture. So why is this path so much faster? What's the secret sauce? It all comes down to the type of income you're earning. At a job, you have time-bound income, you're trading your hours for dollars, and there are only so many hours in a day, right? But a scalable business, that creates income that's completely detached from your time. That's what allows for that insane exponential growth. And when we say business, don't just picture some old school factory. In the world we live in today, your production could be an app on your phone, a piece of software, or yeah, even a YouTube channel, just like the ones we're pulling these ideas from. The key is that whatever you create can be delivered to a huge audience at scale without you having to be there for every single transaction. Okay, this brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. We've talked about mindset and strategy, but after all this work, what's the point? What is the ultimate goal? What are you really trying to buy with all this money? This is such a crucial distinction, an idea from Workenhousel's The Psychology of Money. See, being rich is about having a high income. It's visible. You see it in the fancy cars, the designer clothes. But being wealthy, that's about what you don't see. It's the money that you haven't spent. It's the assets working for you in the background. Real wealth is often completely invisible. And that brings us to the whole point of this entire journey. The goal isn't the money itself. It's not the mansion. It's not the sports car. The single greatest thing that money can buy you is the freedom to control your own time. The ability to wake up and say, I can do what I want, when I want, with who I want. That is the highest dividend your money will ever pay. So there you have it. We've laid out the entire roadmap. We've covered the mindset, the defense, the two main paths for offense, and the ultimate purpose of playing the game in the first place. The whole map is right here in front of you. So now the only real question left to answer is, where on this map are you right now? And what's your very next step?